What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Genius with G Squared Tactical. I was hoping to take a ride on a golf cart today from Metrolina Carts here and go check them out if you're in the market for a golf cart. But the wind done messed around and got crazy up here in North Carolina, and I just wanted to do a quick video before we headed to the range. I know I'm being a little silly, but you know, I always get that way when it comes range time. But you know, I surprisingly had some negative comments and feedback about the Springfield M&P and 10mm, and I had made comments that we didn't have any problems with it. Functionally it worked fine, and that we had a little issue with the trigger as far as that goes, not liking the trigger, but other than that everything was good. And some people have said, oh no, there's some serious issues with it, and just had a lot of comments about it. And it's kind of surprising because we was out there and we didn't have a minute's issue with anything. And somebody had made a comment, well, it's the hot stuff, it's the hot rounds, you know, that's the problem. You got to put some hot stuff through there. So the only thing that I had, and I'll be honest with you, as excited as I am to go to the range today, I'm not excited about shooting most of my, if not all of my range, or my defense ammo. But for the sake of, you know, the channel, you guys, and also just the sheer fact that I put it in my truck to carry, and I want to be sure it's on par. So anyway, we got some Hornady critical duty here, 10mm 175 grain, looks like 1150 foot per second. Got us some 10mm 6 hour here, 180 grain, looks like 1250 foot per second. We got some Federal HST. This stuff's usually pretty heavy, got 200 grain. Not exactly sure about the foot per second on it, we'll have to look into it. Anyway, that we're going to shoot that today. We got this PMC bronze here. It's let's see, 170 grains. It's a jacketed hollow point as well. We'll get you a foot per second on that. We're gonna get this old SIG ball ammo here. Looks like it's 180 grain, full metal jacket. And we got some more full metal jacket Federal here, another 180 grain. This is what we're gonna put through it today at the range, and I'm gonna put up a video. I'm gonna try to use the headgear on the GoPro. I've never used it before, so I hope it turns out good. And we're just gonna shoot each one of these. I'm just gonna kind of show you the box. After I've loaded up a magazine, I'll spare you me loading it up. I'll already have it loaded up. I'll show you the box that I'm shooting, and we'll see how it goes. I hope it goes well. Hello guys, we're back from the range. I do have my partner in crime here. I got her all cleaned up, oiled up, even cleaned the flashlight on it because for whatever reason I shot with the flashlight on it this time. So rather than just, you know, telling you how it did at the range, you know, I know people in the gun world, especially in the gun world, but in the world in general, tend to be skeptics, and I'm a skeptic myself, especially since doing the YouTube channel, because people will get rabid, you know, when you start talking about a particular brand of gun, and it tends to lean more towards your cheaper guns like Rock Island, maybe a Taurus, a Sky. You know, it's almost as if, you know, if you were talking smack about a Glock or Smith & Wesson or H&K, it'd be perfectly fine. You know, they might throw you a Parade or something, but not their precious Rock Islands or Tauruses and stuff. And they're not doing themselves any favors, because it almost would seem as though they're trying to convince themselves that their $200-300 gun is as good and functions as well and will have the longevity record of, say, one of the more expensive brands, tried and true, whatever it may be. Now, don't get me wrong, I love to have a cheaper gun, and it doesn't matter what I own. It doesn't matter if it was $3,000 or $250. If it's junk, I'm saying it's junk. I don't care what I've said to someone. If when I bought this gun, someone would have been with me, or I would have met my friend to smoke a cigar that night, and I would have been putting it on the pedestal without ever having shot the gun, and I went out to the range the next day and I shot it, and it was straight up garbage, well then guess what? I would call my friend up on the way home from the range, and I wouldn't care what he was doing. He could be eating supper with his wife, And I'm telling him, hey man, this thing's a straight up piece of junk. Like, I don't even care. I don't care that I own it, because I'll sell it and buy something else. I'll buy something better. But people get rabid about you talking smack, but it tends to be towards a cheaper gun. So I didn't really talk any smack about this gun when we did the initial tabletop, and we did integrate some film from the range. I just talked a little smack about the trigger, because the trigger on the M&P's always been horrible, and they changed it up and possibly made it more horrible. So yes, I was complaining about the trigger. I will say, after shooting today, that I did what I've told everybody to do. Don't be a trigger snob. If you don't like it, practice with it and warm up to it. So essentially, I did kind of warm up to it a little bit today. So instead of telling you how each one of them performed, or whether or not I had any failures, and you taking my word for it, I'm going to take all the skepticism out of it. I'm going to tell you which one we started with. I'm going to have Trey click into the range. I'm going to show you the ammo at the range, show you the full magazine, load it up, and I'm going to shoot it. And the first one that we shot today was the heaviest one. I wouldn't necessarily say it's the hottest one, but it's the Federal Premium HST jacketed hollow point, which is my favorite defensive round. I actually had 2 boxes of it. I intended to shoot them both because, according to what people had told us, if any of it was going to fail, it would be the heaviest or the hottest stuff, which is generally, that's not the case. Generally it's the weaker stuff if it's going to have a problem. But anyway, that's what people were telling us. So we started out with that one. I had 2 boxes of it. As I said, I was going to shoot both of them, but I only ended up shooting one of them because it was hurting my soul to shoot them. So so anyway, we started out with that one, and that's a 200 grain projectile at 1130 foot per second. So let's see how she did. Okay, as you can see, we had no issues with that round. Everything performed flawlessly. And so we moved on to the next one, which was the 6 Sauer, just a standard full metal jacket, ball ammo, 180 grain, I think it's 1250 foot per second. I know it was. And so that's moving a little bit faster than the other stuff, but about a little bit lighter, being 180 grain. And again, same deal here. Let's see how it did with the 6 Sauer ball ammo, the full metal jacket. Okay, as you can see, we had no issues with that. I think I actually ended up shooting 2 magazines with that, because I had a whole box of it, and I have plenty of that here in the safe. I think we ended up putting 2 mags through it with that particular one. But anyway, so as you can see, it done fine, no issues whatsoever. And so moving on to the third one, we did another full metal jacket, 180 grain, a little bit slower, 1030 foot per second, Federal American Eagle. And let's see how she did. And as you can see, once again, she had no problems. There was a couple of times in some of these videos, if you have not already noticed, that I had a few issues with hitting the safety again, but I'm still getting used to that. But as far as the gun functioning, absolutely no problem. So moving on, the next one we had was the PMC. This was the lightest of the rounds that we were shooting. So it was a PMC bronze. It was a jacketed hollow point, 170 grain, and I think also it was moving somewhere around 1150 foot per second. So let's see how we did with the PMC. So as you can see with the PMC, we had no problems either. I don't know if you're noticing a trend here, but again, no problems whatsoever. I was going to let my wife shoot it and limp wrist it a little bit as she would naturally do, but she didn't want to. She was kind of helping out with the filming as I had the headgear on. But anyway, the next one we shot was the 6 Hour V Crown jacketed hollow point again. It's 180 grain, 1250 foot per second on the muzzle velocity, and let's see how it did with the 6 Hour V Crown. You didn't see it? As you can see, once again, we had no issues with it. And so the last one that we shot was the Hornady Critical Duty, the stuff with the little red, whatever that is on the tip of it. I don't know if it's some kind of, I don't really know what it is, polymer or something, not sure. But maybe I should know, but I don't. I don't really like the ammunition. I've had some issues with it before where it would catch when it would go to load the next round into the chamber. That little red tip would catch and I just quit using the stuff. But I personally thought if I had an issue with any of it, it would be that. So I waited to do it last. And it was the Hornady Critical Duty jacketed hollow point, 175 grain, also moving at 1150 foot per second. Let's see how it did. And as you can see, once again, completely flawless. So we put about 105 rounds, give or take a few rounds through the gun today. All of it was, well, all but 2 of them was you know, hot rounds, so to speak. And before, when we done the tabletop, I had shot some bear load. It done absolutely no problem, or had absolutely no problem, should I say. So I don't know what people are experiencing. I know me personally, I had a Glock 29 one time and I absolutely hated the thing. I called Glock, complained, said there's something wrong with this thing. They were not very nice. Said there's nothing wrong with it, blah, blah, blah. I ended up getting mad, selling it. What was happening to me is what everybody's claiming is happening here, is that it would fail to feed or it wouldn't go fully back into battery. And Glock was basically saying it's the shooter's problem, it's the shooter's fault. And so I sold it to a friend of mine. I actually know who has it right now. He might even actually watch this. And I shot a magazine through the gun and 2 times it failed to feed. shot another magazine. It failed to feed like 4 or 5 times, and he put 2 mags in it after me, and not one time did it fail to feed. And he says it never has since then. But for me and my hands, my hand-shaped, small, fat sausage fingers, not being able to put my pinky on the bottom of that grip was a real problem for me in helping to control that recoil. And with a round that hot, if you don't have a good purchase on that gun, if your pinky hangs off, or for whatever reason you just ease up a little bit on that grip, you could potentially have a situation where it'll fail to feed or fail to fully go back into battery. And my wife on the tabletop video we did, she was, you could plainly see she was limp wristing the piss out of it, and it never did fail. I have not had a single failure with this gun of any kind, none whatsoever. And I don't do anything different than you guys do. And please believe me, everyone that knows me knows this is true. If there's a dud to be had, I'm gonna find it. Always. I have the worst luck with that crap. So I don't know what kind of problems people are having, but we had absolutely zero problems. In fact, I really enjoyed shooting it today. Really enjoyed shooting it. I started warming up a little bit to the trigger. Still not a huge fan of it. Still wish they would have done better. But I did warm up to it a lot more today. I feel a lot more comfortable now with what everybody was saying, actually carrying this gun. So I hope that was informative. I didn't really want to shoot up my high dollar 10mm ammo today, but because everybody made me paranoid and I wanted to let you guys know, we felt like it was necessary to do it for my own sanity, and also to help you guys make the decisions that you might want to make in purchasing this gun or not. I hope it was very informative. Please, if you have any questions, if we misspoke about some grain weights or some velocities or something, please ask questions. We have it all. We still have the boxes. We have it all written down, and we can certainly answer any questions you have. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and make sure that you set your alerts so that you know when we put something else up again. Thank you guys for watching today. We hope you enjoyed it.